Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome back to Wally Weasel. And we are going to do a special, state of address kind of discussion here. As you see, we have a match going on in the background of three coming superstars to the Whassup Wrestling roster. We'll be seeing them, in a more proactive setup soon. I'm not going to be doing commentary for this. It's just going to be nice little bug. It's just going to be playing in the background live while I'm talking, as something to give you guys something to watch. So this is just going to be a first of eventually many. I'm not going to do these like discussion videos like weekly or anything like that. Probably do them like once after every pay-per-view or whatever. Just kind of go over anything that has been happening backstage in the Whassup Wrestling world, or just in the Wally Weasel world in general. So for starters, music. Music has been a big factor within the past couple weeks of Whassup Wrestling. It has been, just to say, like, for those of you who don't really know how YouTube videos basically work, you design up your video and blah blah blah, you put it up, and then it goes through a system of checking while it's uploading. It's not optional, it's not something that you sign into, it's just something that just happens automatically. Basically, that's just like for when it checks for, copyright stuff and all that other good stuff, and that's essentially what's been dinging me a lot lately. Like, it's not uncommon for a single episode of Whassup Wrestling to hit at least, 8 or 9 copyright notices. But that doesn't really stop the video from going up. Copyright notices are just basically YouTube saying, hey, some of the companies that we have aligned ourselves with are claiming copyright on some of the songs in here. Those are like what you can, fight and stuff. It's copyright strikes. That's the 3 strikes and you're basically out, or potentially out. I guess some YouTubers, depending upon the size of the channel, can challenge that and possibly get away with that. Anyways, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, usually a copyright notice just means that my videos are not monetized, which is something I'm just going to put on right now. My video will never be monetized. I will not choose the option, which I cannot choose right now, at 1,000 subscribers. I'll have that option, and I'll say it right now again, just for clarity, the channel will not be monetized. Now, that does not mean that I will not be open to things like Patreon in the future. I figure if I have 1,000 subscribers, then possibly I'll open a Patreon at that point, but it won't be like anything huge, like $50 tiers or whatever. That kind of stupid, because you're basically paying stuff for free. I imagine it will just be like $1 tier. I don't want anything more than that, and I don't really want to be caught having to come up with unique stuff like, create a Discord or create little chat things or stuff like that. I'm lazy. You guys, I'm sure, are lazy. No one wants to do anything like that. But if you guys want, then I'll do it. But yeah, anyway, until recently, those copyright notices have just been just yellow notices that haven't really, impeded my video making capabilities. But just a few weeks ago, one such song got the red copyright notice, and the red copyright notice basically means that all videos utilizing that song are banned worldwide, which means that for a little while most of my Whassup Wrestling videos got banned basically throughout the entire world. And that song was Pimp Daddy's entrance theme, PIMP by 50 Cent. Now, I will say I do not hold anything against the company or 50 Cent or anyone involved in that decision. It is just a matter of bot control and all that other stuff. So basically what I did was go back, or at least just select the option to remove all Pimp Daddy entrances rather than just mute them, because, it was either leave them mute and no one's really going to pay attention to them anyway, because you would just be watching Pimp Daddy come down to the ring as you normally would, or just cut them out entirely, which I'm pretty sure most people would have preferred anyway. And I've changed his theme song, and while his theme song does get a red copyright notice, it is not enough to ban anything. Now, PTC's original theme song did have that as well, in which it would ban in certain areas in the UK, but I changed his theme song before they, made their grand debut, or at least I was able to, so it didn't really affect anything along those lines. But the question is, will I change any songs to stop this from happening in the future? The answer to that is a resounding no. All songs will remain the same until they get a red copyright notice, at which point they'll be changed over and all that other good stuff. Aside from all that, we can talk about re-recorded matches. This is sort of a fun little behind-the-scenes bit of business, but re-recording matches does tend to happen every now and then, and it looks like we have ourselves a winner in Kimberly. Oh, good job. Alright, so let me just skip through all the replays here, and yeah, rematch. Keep fighting. Let's see who wins this time. Okay, yes. Basically, re-recording matches is a bit of a hassle at times. Sometimes I just do rematches, like you just saw right there. Like I had to do a rematch at, I think it was Payback? It was the initial tag team title match between Natural Greatness and Spectational. It was their ladder match, and it was, the first variation was just atrocious. Basically, Spectational just threw Natural Greatness out of the ring, hit him a couple times, and then Dexter climbed the ladder and retrieved the belt. It was over and done within 2 minutes, and yeah, it was not good. So I did a re-record, and it turned out a little bit better. But sometimes I'll call entire matches and not even realize that I haven't even recorded them, and sometimes they work to my benefit. Such in the case of Money in the Bank's Universal title match between Dark Killer and Jamie Hill. Essentially, Jamie Hill had won that match, although that was a 3-minute snooze fest of Jamie Hill doing everything on top of Dark Killer. Dark Killer barely got any offense in, and it just did not come out as a good match. Luckily, I didn't record that match. I had forgotten to start recording at the start, and I did call the entire thing, but luckily I was able to go back into exhibition and just record. That's why later on in the match I do kind of tiptoe around mentioning Jamie Hill as having won the Universal title, mainly because I didn't know if he was going to be walking out of Money in the Bank with the Universal title. I was hoping he would win the exhibition bout, and he turned out that he did, and that's kind of why Finn Balor interrupted and did his thing by getting beat up by Dark Killer, and we'll be seeing Finn Balor against Dark Killer in next week's episode of Whassup Wrestling, so check that out. And yeah, mainly because I still had interruptions set for exhibition bouts, so that's kind of why that happened. So yeah, pre-recorded matches do happen. Sometimes they benefit, sometimes not so much, but I haven't had anything wrong with re-records for the same people winning or losing or whatever. One thing that I do want to point out are potential storylines. Yes, I am running storylines in the company, and I'm doing my best to keep them as descriptive and up on the forefront as possible. But I do want to note that there are at least 2 types of storylines that Whassup Wrestling will never have, and those are very simple storylines, very heat magnet type storylines that I'm just not fans of. The first of which are patriotism storylines. I get tired of those whenever I did watch wrestling. Anytime they brought that up, I always thought that is cheap heat. Never found those things to be entertaining because it was kind of stupid. It's like, why would you exploit your fans' xenophobia just to get some people who probably don't deserve to be over, and then get some people who should be given a better opportunity to get themselves over as heels, aside from, oh, we hate this place, you suck as a result. So yeah, Whassup Wrestling will never have a situation like that. It's a very open company. We accept everyone well, you'll see how far we reach the acceptance. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you can get a closer view of the woman in blue, you can see just how far-reaching we truly are. I do take advantage of the fact that this is just a video game. Another type of storyline that Whassup Wrestling will never have is any storyline involving sexism. We will not be differentiating the genders of any sort, aside from the limitations of the gameplay, meaning that I cannot do quote-unquote mixed tag matches because, well, those just aren't available in this game. So it'll just be the assigned women versus women and assigned men versus men. That's basically it. There's nothing I can do about that. This isn't like, SmackDown there's 4, where you can just give everyone a gender of other, and then you can just have them fight each other. You can have like a woman fight a man in a Hell in a Cell and all that stuff. But at least you can have women fight women in Extreme Rules matches. The only exception I've noticed in this game, for bizarre reason, I have no idea why, but the Dusty Classic does not allow women tag teams. I mean, you can have normal tag teams, you can have your funky match rule tag teams, but you just can't, do Dusty Classic tag teams. I don't know, because I was kind of hoping that would be the case. For the tag team tournament that we just saw, a couple days ago, I'm actually recording this about an hour and a half before the Canada Day tournament goes live, but, hey, I can do past tense talk. So yeah, aside from that, those are the 2 storylines that Whassup Wrestling will not have. Any women wrestler, like the women titles, the 2 of them will stand on equal footing as the Universal title and the $1 Million Championship, which at the time of this recording is the 2nd tier championship. I do hope to bring in another title that I could call a 2nd tier title. I don't know how that'll come in, maybe a tournament, maybe a battle royal, we'll see. I'll figure that out as we get to that point. Next up, we have the future of Whassup Wrestling. And the future of Whassup Wrestling is obviously Battlegrounds. Nice little pay-per-view. But the real future of Whassup Wrestling is profiles. Yes, I am finally going to start doing profiles for every single wrestler on this roster. We basically be doing a descriptive of who they are, potentially why they're here and all that other stuff, and any history that they have. Some videos will be long, some videos will be short. I just have to figure out how I'm going to produce them, and if I'm just going to produce them as recording their entrances and just talking over them, or having them perform in a match and then talking over that, because it's a little hard to do anything else like that. So yeah, profiles are coming up soon. I'm already thinking about them. I just have to write up a few scripts for them. And yeah, now that we have this match over, I think I've talked enough about the future of Whassup Wrestling. My streaming stuff is all going to keep the same, so I don't really need to discuss that. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Maybe next time when I do these little discussion pieces, we will, I will, answer any questions that pop up, or I'll just throw up some answers to questions that I feel coming up. Okay, and as we watch our little elf celebrate, I will say thank you all for listening to me yammer on about all this nonsense type stuff, and I hope to see you in future videos. Thank you very much, and this is Wally Weasel, signing out.